Hello! Welcome to HEA podcast.
Today in this podcast we're going to focus completely our attention on the stereotypes and on the different stories that are shown through culture. Have you ever wondered why a story or tale is different from each culture? Because sometimes we only grew up with a certain version that changes our perspective completely, but once we know that there are different stories or different versions of that story, we become completely amazed. And this has happened to me once or twice in my lifetime.
Now we can see as an example another country, South Korea. First, we need to talk about what are the stereotypes that we have of that country.
Well, one of the features of Koreans are the slanting eyes, and they are also known of their distinguished food that there has been widely recognized.
Well, another thing I believe of a stereotype that I have seen like in social media or any type of media network is that South Koreans give a lot of importance towards their appearance. They have like different methods of taking good care of their skin. Everyone looks good with clear white skin, but once we look at, for example, some videos on Facebook in which like South Korean girls take out their makeup and they look completely different, and that's a stereotype that I used to believe that all of them were completely like with great skin, great body figures, and all of those things.
I also believe that they are traditional. They give the respect to their culture and have their own belief. And also I think that they are good in business. For example, here in Mexico we have the HEA company. And so I think that for that, maybe Korean people are good in business. So now we need to talk about the reality of that country. And in our research, we find that actually South Korea
has a very hierarchical way of living. Everything is like structured, and you must follow, like for example, the position you have. You must make the best out of that position and work very hard to be able to get higher. I mean, everything is already established. You just have to find a position and defend the position no matter what, and be able to work harder so you can improve or change your position of living.
Other thing is that they are a collectivist country. That means that they move in groups. The investigation that we made say that in Korean it is bad if a person eats alone. Actually, the food companies they sell a big amount of food because they are made for a family of 4 people. So it is common that people is always in company. Also, the country is feminine
because it follows, like for example, you work to live. You need to, like for example, take care of your life. You do not only focus on working completely long hours. Well, they do focus on working, but they also focus on the sensibility of their way of living, so they can be able to have a more sensible or compassionate view towards work.
And the other thing is that they are high uncertainty avoidance. That means that they follow rules and they for everything that can happen. And also they have like an etiquette, and that's it. The other thing is long term. That means that they prepare the things for the future. They believe, they have confidence on their government, and also they have that pressure to succeed. It is very important that every person stands out and bring honor to their families. That is very important, and I think that make a lot of pressure in every single person. The last one is restraint, and that means that they have self-control in things like save money and that stuff. Because actually Korean people are very emotional and they don't have fear to express their emotions. And that's why we can see in Korean drama that they are always crying for everything and that kind. And that's it.
Well, finally, we can see that we have a lot of similarities with Korea because as they care many about our beauty and about the conservation of their traditional stuff, and that we always criticize everything we see and the things people do.
Okay, so we already see how a side of a story, a version of a story, can affect our vision of a certain country. Now, I think that it will be interesting if we'll see now about our country. So, what are the stereotypes that you think that we have?
Well, I think mainly like we are very masculine, we always are hardworking, but we also have like a toxic type of sexism ideas, like the woman should only be at the house taking care of the kids and the man should be out working. And I think something that like kind of bothers me is the idea like that women must be cleaning everything, must look out after men, but I don't think that's good. There must be a balance in like the ideas of gender, in types of gender equality, but I believe like the stereotype is that we are kind of sexist.
The other stereotypes are about the clothing we have and the way we speak. Mexico, in a big part of it, is hotness.
Well, in my case, I think that for a long time I believe that Mexico have lazy people, that they don't like to work, and that the only thing that they know to do is laughing around.
Well, this question goes to all of us, but what makes us think that those stereotypes are true, or why do they originate those types of stereotypes?
Well, I think that one of the most important parts of this is because of the cartoons that always is a Mexican person with a mustache and their hats, and they always are with a tequila or with singing some songs with the guitar and the charros head. I think that is one of the parts in where the people see how Mexico is, and it's not that there is not like that, but it's not all about Mexico. Other thing is that we have been known like about Narcos because of the series that have been in these years, and there is a little part, but it not is all about Mexico. Because of this series, we can see that the Narcos series, people have been seeing Mexico like a violence place, and there is not like that because yes, there is some situations in the country that they are not okay, but there is not all what we see. However, we know that Mexico is not like cartoons and series or movies describe it. If not, it's something more than that. And we want that people see Mexico like another part of it, and to see that we have a lot of diversity of the culture, that we can be surprised of what it can give us or bring us, like is their traditional food, their cultures, their stories, and about what the opportunities we can have here, and about the people that is kind, because Mexico is well known as a kind country, and in the series and cartoons not describe all we have here in Mexico.
Well, I think that we think that it will be amazing if we are recognized by our kindness, and also I think that it will be amazing if they recognize that Mexico have the power to advance, and I think that Mexico can be a greatest country, like United States, but we have some internal problems that stop us. And well, now that is everything that we can say about Mexico, so we can give our reflection about what we talk in this podcast.
Well, what I was able to gain in this podcast was that although many stereotypes are present in our lives, it is completely like known that most of our lives are completely described by stereotypes, but it is also important to mention that they are only that stereotypes. They are not like related to the reality of many people. And well, some ideas may be considered true, but we may never know, as each person is different and they behave completely different from what is presented in the media. Many of those stereotypes arise mainly because people can become like ethnocentric on themselves and not be able to understand how different people can be.
Well, I think that it's important to avoid every stereotype we have, because this can make us not to learn about other things, other cultures, and if we avoid all the stereotypes, we can have more knowledge about the things and have how reality is.
Well, that will be everything for today. Thanks for your attention. Goodbye. Bye.